Hey, folks, welcome back to Chris White Africa and Rugby Ascendant. This is Chris coming to you live from Central Pennsylvania. My special feature guest, and I'm going to butcher this even though he's helped me with his last name here. It's got 85 syllables to it. It's a Samoan name, but it's Jeremy Misailegalu. That's not quite right.
Close enough. I'll take it, baby.
All right, but let's make it easy for all you out there trying to pronounce his name. He's known simply as the Missile. Now, before we get any further into this, Jeremy, how did you get that nickname? Was it because people couldn't pronounce your name, or you're just like a missile?
Yeah, pretty much, the same. It happened in high school, football, and I thought one of my coaches wanted me to blitz every play, so I just kept going, and he asked for my name, and he was like, man, you come off as a rocket. What is your name? And I told him my name, and he's like, man, that's too hard. I'm just calling you Missile. So, yeah, I just stuck since my sophomore year. So, yeah, man.
Well, let's square a few other things away here too, because I think some people are probably confused that wait a second, this guy's name, it looks like it's Pacific Islander, maybe it's Samoan, but he sounds pretty American. You're an American, aren't you? You're born here in the States.
Born and raised, yes.
Oh, excellent. All right,
Seattle, Washington.
From Seattle, Washington. Okay, all right. A lovely place up there, except for the red ants in the forest. They're nasty little buggers. They bite hard. They do. Well, let's get right into it, Jeremy. So you've got some interesting experience for guys playing in Major League Rugby. You've done all kinds of stuff. You've done club rugby. You've won championships in club rugby. Now I read somewhere you played for the Barbarians. Is that the USA Barbarians or the Barbarians?
This is Denver Barbarians.
Okay. That's
Not the Barbarians.
I was like, you play for the Babas? I missed that because I'm a huge fan of Barbarians. But congratulations.
That would be crazy.
Oh, that would be awesome. Wouldn't it be something else? That's quite an invite. But the Denver Barbarians are still impressive nonetheless. But you've played over here on the East Coast. You played in Philadelphia for the NASCRO championships a few years ago. Yes.
Yes, with Edmund Chuvatos. It was my college team.
And what was that like?
Like my college?
No, well, yeah, sure, the college, but I meant playing it over here because we had the collegiate rugby championship that took place in conjunction with that for a long time. And a whole crowd of people would show up for that. Lots of games going on all day. It was quite impressive. Yeah. So tell us about both experiences.
Yeah, well, I mean, just as small college, because we played at Enscrow, it was just amazing playing in a big stadium at that time. We didn't have any experience in rugby. So just being brought up in that kind of world was pretty surreal, and kind of just gave us a bigger picture of what we wanted to achieve. And coming from a small school, it was just gave us big hopes and in our rugby careers.
Well, how did you wind up coming to going to that school? Was there a reason you went there, or pick it out of a hat, or what?
Yeah. So I coming from Washington, I just wanted to leave home, and I went there for football, and I redshirted, and I just decided to not play football anymore. And then rugby was there, and just kind of caught on there.
Well, your story is like a lot of American rugby players in that you didn't start out at rugby. I mean, it's not like Kiwis. I mean, they come out of the womb and they hand them a rugby ball in New Zealand before they can even drink a bottle. They get on their mother's breast. They got a rugby ball. But in the U.S., a lot of our rugby players come from other sports, particularly from football, and that's what you did. So what positions were you playing in football?
Yeah, and I played running back. And then in high school, I played running back and linebacker.
All right, so you're accustomed to bruising hits then.
Yep, taking it and giving it, yeah.
So rugby was probably a natural fit for you there. You didn't have to worry about finesse.
Yeah, and I was a wrestler too. I wrestled in college as well, so it all worked out.
Well, that ought to help you with tackles then. You have a good feel for how to upset someone's center of gravity there.
Yep.
Excellent. So the club championships, you also played in that, and then you went to New Zealand to play as well. Isn't that true?
Yeah. I went out there, just gave out sevens a try. So that was a whole another experience.
Yeah, you need a bit of gas in the tank to play sevens, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, the way you said that, I'm afraid to ask the next question. How did it go for you?
I don't know if you see me on the field. I'm usually always tired, so sevens, man, it's just a whole nother game. I'm tired the whole 14 minutes.
Oh, it's a track meet. When I came back from Ethiopia, the Army sent me back to Ethiopia a few years ago. I came to Central Pennsylvania, and Harrisburg had a rugby club. And I thought, hey, I'll try to help them out, maybe raise money, get some attention, maybe coach or something like that, because I've coached before. And I contacted him. He said, oh, that's great, but we can use some help. Can you play on our sevens team? I'm like, I'm 50. Are you serious? They're like, no, it's good. I'm like, no, it's not good. So, when I was 25 or 35, maybe, but not at 50. That's
Man, 50, you look good for a 50-year-old man.
I'm a lot older than 50 now, but shaved the beard off. I look a lot younger.
Really younger.
That's very kind of you. But so what was it like, the experience in New Zealand? I was there for the World Cup in 2011. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, no, I fell in love with New Zealand. If my visa didn't expire, I definitely would have. I think I would have stayed there a lot longer. But the footy out there was just unreal. You know, everybody, obviously, you know, you, like you said earlier, you're born and you're given a rugby ball. So it was just, I would just be, to me, I just wanted to be a sponge and just learn, you know, the game and just learn a lot of little things I didn't learn while I was in the U.S. So I think it really complemented my game because as soon as I came back from New Zealand, MLR opened up, and then I think that helped me.
Well, I was going to say that coming late into rugby, you got an opportunity to go to New Zealand, and it's a religion there. It really is. I mean, rugby is it's the first thing. They probably look to rugby before national defense, to be honest. But but seriously, it must have been quite a good learning experience and learning curve to be there with people who just grow up with it each and every day, because they've got a big jump on you, and you obviously learned a lot from that experience.
Yes, I did.
So you were in Christchurch, is that correct?
Yeah, I was.
What was the town like? I mean, because they had a devastating earthquake just before the World Cup.
Yeah, so it was still rebuilding. Like there's still certain areas where you could tell that the earthquake hit pretty hard. But other than that, I mean, they're thriving. The town was beautiful, man. Like Christchurch is such a nice place.
It is. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go because the earthquake had just happened when I was here for the World Cup. And the game that I was supposed to go to in Christchurch was relocated up to Nelson, in the very northern part of the island there. USA versus the Eagles were playing Italy in that game. Did you get around either of the islands much, or just pretty much just sticking around with rugby?
Yeah, I was just there for rugby.
Well, perhaps you get a chance to go back some point, maybe play Super Rugby or something like that.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make another visit back out there.
So let's talk about Major League Rugby then, Jeremy, because you started out with the Seawolves, and they won a championship. Congratulations, you're a champion. And then you went to the Warriors in Utah, and then you wound up in Rugby Atlanta. So there's a couple of you guys on the Rattler squad that have moved around to 2 or 3 clubs. Including Ross Deacon, I think has been on 3 clubs. What's that like, moving from city to city? I mean, I'm looking at where you've been. You're like me in the Army. You've been on the move the entire time.
No, it's pretty overwhelming, pretty stressful, to be honest. Just to have to find a new home, you know, moving 3 to 4 times in 3 years is pretty stressful. So I'm really blessed and really happy that finally I can, you know, I know I'm at one place for a little bit. So that just takes a stress off of me. So,
well, I think a lot of people who aren't folks in businesses where they travel out, whether they're musical performers or athletes or soldiers and sailors who travel out. I mean, I moved 26 times in 36 years in the Army, 27 times on 5 different continents. To 15 different countries. So I can empathize with it. And what people, they don't think about, Jeremy, you've got to do this. You've got to turn on the lights. You've got to get a new phone. You've got to get rubbish removal. We got all that stuff. And that's plus all that cost. That's got to be tough. I mean, you know, Major League Rugby is not exactly English Premier League, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And I watched you this week in New Orleans, right? You're right in New Orleans. Yeah. You ready? Okay. So I watched that game, and Adrian Carlson made this beautiful chip. And I'm like, oh, I hope somebody can get to it. And I'm looking at the 2 NOLA players, like, nobody's going to get there. No, and like, whoa, look at the missile. Where is he? No, he did. He got to it. Okay, let me ask you about that, because I was convinced watching that live on television that nobody was going to get there. I'm like, oh, okay, Adrian's overcooked a little bit. It's in the right spot, but nobody's going to get there. But man, you closed the gap. I mean, were you that fast as a running back, or is that really? What happened? What happened? That was amazing.
Yeah. So I didn't even feel like I was running that fast, but I guess I was. But when I saw the kid go through, I just assumed one of the guys was going to pick it up. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to make this tackle, try to drag him out of bounds. And their 15 kind of just slowed down. And I was like, oh, man, I think I might be able to get this. And I saw their other winger coming from the side, and I thought he was going to pick it up. And he didn't. So I just I just took a dive, and it just all worked out, I guess.
Well, I was just waiting for them to go to the TMO because I'm gonna be like, well, no, he didn't have positive pressure down the ball, but they didn't hesitate. The official saw it clearly. I was listen. That was one of the most exciting tries of the season, I think, for Major League Rugby. That ought to be a highlight film. Good to get this insight to talk to you. You were just going to go for the tackle. That's what you thought.
I was gonna go for the tackle and drag him out of bounds.
And there's this golden opportunity to score. It's just brilliant.
I was really surprised myself. Like, I didn't think I was going to get to that ball fast enough either.
So what was it like down there in the gold mine? It's so humid in New Orleans, and it looked like the ball was butter. So many knock-ons going on. I asked that question of Bato Escuro too, because it seemed like a lot of people were losing control of the ball. Was it tough to hold on to it?
Oh yeah, it was really tough. It was very muggy, humid. The fans were amazing though. It was such a nice place to play in. The crowd, the atmosphere was just so unreal. Like, especially like when the fans are coming back because of,
the pandemic.
Yeah, so it was nice to have an amazing crowd like that. It was very slippery. The ball was so hard to hold on, and both teams were making so many errors, so it was okay.
Yeah, as long as it's on both sides of the ball, it evens out a bit. Yep. Yeah, and I watched the Old Glory game against the Free Jacks, and talk about error game. There are a lot of errors in that game, but that went down to the absolute last second, in like the 82nd minute, and just the ball just barely out of the fingertips of Danny Tusitala. Otherwise, the Old Glory might have won. So, but another mistake-filled game, but it makes it very interesting at times. You guys, you got out of town with an 8-7 win. That was a tight one.
Yeah, that was super tough. That was really tough.
So what do you enjoy most from an aspect of the game? Do you enjoy offense or making tackles and stopping the other guys?
Man, as a running back, I really love getting the ball. But I think I just accepted my role on just playing defense and shutting the wide channel. So that's one of my best part of the games.
Apparently, if people didn't know it, you've got some wheels. We know that now. After watching that try, you've got some wheels. That was pretty impressive. So you're welcome. It's a genuine compliment. I got to say that that was an exciting try. And it was the only try of the game. So you guys didn't get anything else. That was the only one you got. So yeah. But not the only try of the game. Of course, we had the old wily veteran there for Nola slip in and steal a try. Cam Dolan. Did you see that? I mean, did you have a good view of it?
Yeah, I was right next to it because it was like middle scrum, and I was on the right side. I was like, what's going on? I was really confused, but he knows the game better than me. So.
Well, he knows apparently better than about 29 other guys on the pitch at the time. So no, it was I was like, no, because I saw him going and I knew it was legal. So anyway, but that did make for an interesting thing. But you guys, the only try you guys had was the one you scored, and you needed it. Then you needed Adrian Carlson's conversion to win that game, get out of town. So 6 games in a row. Now you're headed off to Rugby United New York. So nothing challenging, easy team to beat. Not. Are you looking forward? Are you looking forward to this Rooney contest?
Oh yeah, personally, I've never beaten New York in MLR, and ATL we haven't beaten them. We're 0-2 against them, so it'd be a big game for us. Just beat them. We haven't. I think we're 0-2 against them, so it's gonna be a tough challenge.
Well, this weekend is the time to change that statistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rugby ATL is looking pretty good at the top of the log there. The point spread, I think you're 5 points ahead of Rooney. So yes. if you manage, even if you were to lose, if you got a bonus point on tries, then I think you'd stay ahead of him just on points. But I don't think you want that. I think you want the win. So that's what matters the most.
I want the win.
So I'm going to ask this question, and I'm sure I know the answer, as will the audience. Are you happy with your decision to switch from football to rugby?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, let me ask this question. Wouldn't it have been interesting? Because now let's look forward, because you got Major League Rugby now. People could actually make a living playing, or at least make some money playing rugby professionally. And they get lots of caps, lots of appearances under the belt. And we can improve the quality of the Eagles, and USA Rugby and Canada Rugby gets a lot more attention. And we've always had club level. It's been successful in America and at university. But now maybe we change the dynamic. And when you were a little kid, you have an opportunity to play rugby instead of just football. And same with me. That wasn't there when I was a kid. In fact, the first time I was introduced to rugby was at university, and a guy asked me to come to the game. And I'm like, sure, but the game's tomorrow. He goes, no, not football, rugby. I'm like, man, I'm from Appalachia. We're happy with paved roads and electricity. I've never played rugby. He goes, no, it'll be great. You'll have a great time. With rugby doing what it's doing now, Major League Rugby, would it have been nice if you were a kid to have that chance to be introduced to it, say, like the Kiwis are at the age of 5 or 6?
Yeah, looking back at it, I mean, I always wish that I played earlier, and yeah, so definitely agree with you on that. It would have been nice.
Yeah, but it just wasn't there. I mean, it wasn't something available for you. It wasn't something available for me, a generation ahead of you. And but now we're making it available for young kids, and that's great. That's going to make America a lot stronger then. So cool beans. Well, let me ask you a quick question about your Samoan heritage, if you don't mind. So how far does it go back? Is your family a recent arrival, or have they been here for generations?
Yeah, they've been here for generations. I think my grandpa, my grandpa came here in the 70s. So, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been to Samoa?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I'm sure a lot of people of German descent in America have never been to Germany, or Irish descent have never been to Ireland, or Japanese descent for that matter.
Hoping to make my way there too as well.
Samoan communities tend to be pretty tight knit. That's why I was asking, and family's a big deal. So I was just wondering if you ever had a chance to go there. So interesting. But let's see. So you're with Rugby Atlanta now, and you're having a great season. The team and you yourself appear to be having a great season too. So are you hoping to stay in Major League Rugby for a few more years, or maybe something bigger?
I'm definitely here until my body can't go.
Until my body can't go. Okay. Well, there you go. Anyway, well, Jeremy, okay, I'm going to butcher this again. I'm going to try to get it right, but Jeremy Misailegalu.
Well, that's better than the first time.
All right. Okay. All right. So my apologies for butchering. I speak 6 languages, but none of them are Pacific Island languages.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of work. Trust me. Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks a lot, Jeremy the Missile, for coming on the program. Really appreciate it. Best of luck this weekend with Rugby United. That looks to be a titanic struggle for both sides. We'll see who comes out in the end. It's probably going to be a typical Rattlers game, and we're all going to be sitting there in the 82nd minute wondering if they're going to hold off the Rooney from scoring. Please, nobody get a penalty so they can kick a conversion. I suspect that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Jeremy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, take care. There you go, folks. The Missile, Jeremy from Rugby Atlanta.